sang every Friday. Same corner, same song. For months, I thought he was just a sweet old man collecting spare change. I was wrong. He was singing for his daughter. Welcome to Phoenix Fortis, where stories of resilience, hope, and redemption take flight. I'm your host, Diane. Grief has a way of reshaping the world around us. It lingers in the quiet moments, the songs, the small rituals, the things we do to feel close to those we've lost. Today's letter comes from a woman named Sarah. One afternoon, she paused to listen to a man singing outside a grocery store. What began as a simple moment of curiosity unfolded into a story of profound loss and an unexpected legacy. This is a story about quiet grief, about how a simple melody can carry the weight of a lifetime. It's about how the smallest acts of kindness can ripple into something far greater than we ever imagined. A story about love that never fades, about finding Fortis in song, in remembrance, and in the quiet connections that help us carry on. Let's begin. Dear Diane, every Friday afternoon, I'd see him. Same spot, just outside the grocery store entrance. An older man, probably in his 70s, with a worn cap pulled low and a voice that barely rose above the hum of passing shoppers. He wasn't begging. He wasn't trying to stop anyone. He just sang. A small tin box sat beside him. The words "for research" were written in shaky black marker across a taped label. Most people didn't notice him. They were in a rush, juggling grocery lists and weekend plans. I was no different. Until one day, I stopped. Maybe it was the way his voice cracked in that particular note, or maybe it was just one of those days where the world feels heavier than usual. But I stopped. I listened. And in that moment, the noise of the parking lot seemed to fade. The song he sang was both beautiful and haunting. He sang of love and loss and of a little girl named Maria. I asked if I could record his song, just for me. Something about the way he sang felt important. He smiled, soft and a little surprised, but nodded. I uploaded the clip to my social media that night. It wasn't meant to go anywhere, just a moment I wanted to remember. But people noticed. Comments started flooding in. Who is he? What's his story? That song, it sounds like grief. The questions haunted me. So 2 weeks later, I went back. Same spot, same songs, but this time, I didn't just listen. I asked. His name was Henry. The story he told me, Diane, it broke me. Henry had a daughter, Maria. Bright, funny, the kind of girl who could make a whole room smile. She was diagnosed with a rare, aggressive illness when she was only 12. There was no cure, no treatment that worked, but Henry refused to give up. He poured everything into trying to save her. But Henry wasn't the kind of man who could sit and do nothing. He spent everything. His retirement, his savings, even sold the home he and his wife had built together. Every penny went into giving Lila a fighting chance. Experimental treatments, travel for clinical trials, anything that might give her a chance. Maria passed away 2 years later. He lost his daughter. And with her, everything else. But when I asked if he ever regretted it, all the money, the sacrifices, he didn't hesitate. Not for a second, he said, with a softness that still cracks my heart. Now, living off a modest Social Security check, Henry stands on that corner every Friday and sings. Not for spare change, not for recognition. He sings for Maria. Every dollar dropped into that little tin box goes to medical research, to help other families still fighting the disease that took her. He never asked for attention. He never sought applause. He just sings, because that's what he has left to give. He told me, in a quiet voice that felt almost like a secret. I wrote every one of these songs about Maria. Every verse is her story. I asked if I could record his story. Not just his song, but him, his heart. He hesitated at first, said he wasn't looking for fame, but I promised it wasn't about fame. It was about Maria, about keeping her fight alive. He nodded. I posted his story. It spread faster than I could have imagined, and the world listened. First hundreds, then thousands. People didn't just want to hear his song, they wanted to support his cause. Donations poured in, people bought his recordings, messages from families fighting the same battle filled my inbox. Henry didn't want the spotlight. He never wanted to be viral. So he did what only Henry would do. He gave it all away. Every dollar went to research foundations. Every penny went to families like his, still in the fight. He didn't keep a cent. He never wanted to be known. He only wanted to make sure no one else had to lose a Maria. He sang for his daughter, but his song became a lifeline for so many more. I still see him on Fridays. Same corner, same song. But now, people stop. They listen. They sing along. Not because he's viral, but because they understand. Henry once told me he never imagined a world where strangers would know Maria's name, let alone sing her song. Yet they do. And every time a new voice joins in, I see it happen. Henry's eyes well up, his hands tremble just a little, and for a moment, it's like he's holding Maria close again. It's not applause he hears, it's remembrance, a quiet chorus of people carrying her story forward. That's when I understood what he was teaching me. Legacy isn't loud. It's not in headlines or awards. It's in the quiet, unwavering acts of love we give the world even when no one's watching. His daughter's name was Maria. Now, the world sings her song. Thank you, Diane, for giving me the space to share it. With gratitude, Sarah. Some stories don't need embellishment. They carry their own quiet gravity. Henry's love for his daughter became a melody that outlived grief, a song that turned sorrow into hope, not for fame, not for recognition, but for the chance to lift someone else's burden. His story reminds us that legacies aren't measured in applause. They're measured in the lives we quietly touch, the burdens we help carry, the kindness we offer, even when no one's looking. But this isn't just Henry's story. It's Sarah's, too. Because she could have walked by, like so many of us do. We pass strangers every day, faces we'll never see again. Too busy, too distracted, too wrapped up in our own lives to notice the quiet songs being sung all around us. How many Henrys have we passed by without hearing them? That thought stays with me. How many missed opportunities to make the world a little lighter, a little kinder, because we were too focused on our own noise? Sarah chose to stop. She chose to listen. And in doing so, she didn't just hear a song, she amplified it. She gave Henry's quiet act of remembrance a stage. And in turn, she became part of his legacy. And now, every time another stranger joins in, singing Maria's song alongside him, Henry's eyes well up, his hands tremble. But he doesn't see a crowd. He sees his daughter. For Henry, every voice that sings is Maria's story living on. It's not applause he hears. It's remembrance. That's the quiet power we all carry. To Sarah, thank you for seeing him, for giving his song wings. And to Henry, though you may never seek the spotlight, your voice echoes in the hearts of every family your kindness has reached. You remind us all that sometimes the most profound acts of love are sung softly, unnoticed, until someone stops to listen. If you've ever known someone like Henry, an unseen hero who gives quietly, without expectation, I want to hear their story. We want to hear their song. Like Sarah, Phoenix Fortis is dedicated to giving voice to the stories that too often go unheard. The quiet acts of compassion, the small ripples of kindness that deserve to be seen, felt, remembered. If this story moved you, share it. Pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. You never know who might be waiting for a reason to stop and listen. And if you're carrying grief, if you've ever sung your own quiet song of remembrance, know this: your voice matters here. Sometimes the simplest melody can spark a movement that changes lives. Your story could be the one that helps someone else rise. To all our listeners, we're all moving so fast these days, heads down, lost in our own worries, our own noise. But here's the hard truth. Not every story shouts to be heard. Some are whispered. Some are sung quietly from a street corner. And it's up to us to notice. We don't need grand gestures to make an impact. Sometimes changing a life starts with something as simple as stopping, listening, choosing to see the people the world rushes past. So, to all our listeners, this week I challenge you. Look up. Find a Henry. Listen to a Maria. Pay attention to the quiet givers, the unseen heroes in your own life. Because you never know when a moment of kindness, a small gesture, could ripple into something far greater. And when you find those stories, don't keep them to yourself. You might just become part of someone's legacy. This has been Phoenix Fortis, where stories of resilience, hope, and redemption take flight. I'm Diane, and we'll be back soon with another story of resilience, enduring love, and the quiet ways we're reminded that we are never truly alone. Until then, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and don't forget, sometimes the most important stories aren't the loudest. They're the ones waiting quietly to be heard. And if you'd like more reflections from Diane's hard truths, be sure to check out our Phoenix Fortis shorts, brief moments of insight for the days you need them most. And as always, keep rising.